I'm Andy here, and a couple things that you may not know about me so much. One is I was recently diagnosed with autism by a doctor that I been seeing for a while now, and he recently just diagnosed me with it. I'm 32 years old and been misdiagnosed with everything other than autism throughout my life.
So misdiagnosed with everything but autism, meaning that he was never diagnosed with autism until 2 years ago. And yeah, he's fumbling over his words a little bit here, but as you listen, the whole referring to himself as Andy doesn't exist yet. Um, just the way he says words. Yeah, just listen.
One thing I am creating this video for is because I have this friend of mine, who I hope he's considered as a friend of mine. Um, he actually tells me I don't have it because he compares him
Because you don't have it, bro.
or me, who can talk, to other people who he knows that cannot talk. Now, I'm not mentioning any names here, but I just feel kind of uncomfortable that people just don't understand autism and what it is. And the one thing I'm, going to tell you, I still have problems communicating. And you may notice that I have to stop and think about something, my next set of words to actually, try and think here. Oh my God, here I go again. But basically, I gotta stop and think for what I say at some point, just to keep on topic. You may not be able to see my hands here, but they're flapping a little bit there when I was talking, when I was getting frustrated with myself there. I don't know if you saw that, but you could probably see my hand go like that every so often. I don't know. I do that every so often when I get frustrated, and that's another sign of autism, is this dimming effect, that where you go like this or you rock. I don't really rock that much. The biggest problem I have is the arm flapping and arm. Uh, Hi guys, I have a couple questions for my friends here. One of them is about who I am and what my problems are. The biggest problem I have is what I think is autism and what my doctors said I have. Um, and what
He's pretty much self-diagnosed, or you know, has the Owen Benjamin syndrome. His mommy mentioned that he might have autism, so now he goes around saying that he has autism. Just like Owen Benjamin's mom told him he was a genius, now he runs around telling people he's a fucking genius.
one of the biggest problems I have, and this is a list I've wrote down that I have right here of all my biggest symptoms and different events and situations.
Again, this was 1 year ago, and no talk like this, or Andy don't understand that shit.
For example, at a store, restaurant, malls, or similar places, I have trouble with the loud noises and crowds. I have trouble with the echoes and loud noises from the background noise, to kids crying, to people screaming, to loud music more. Since I learned to use music therapy for helping me calm down in stressful events, I purchased a noise cancellation headphones. Since these noise cancellation headphones, I notice how sensitive my ears are. These actually help me be calmer in these environments where I would always want to get out of.
So he has problems with loud noises. That was a year ago, right? He has problem with loud noises. I guess that's not very loud. Oh, and sensory problems. Like bright lights and shit like that. None of that shit exists. Seems to be having fun. Alright, let's go back.
Digest at once. Too much going on. In these situations, I tend to freeze or have what I call tunnel vision in these predicaments. If I don't have someone with me to guide me, I would never be able to do these activities. While concerts, I only been to one, and it was likely my last. I had issues with the loud noise, especially with the Motley Crue part of the concert, Motley Crue and Alice Cooper. I saw.
So, yeah, this is the concert thing. But no issue with this. Right about this time when he'd be like freaking out, you know, hitting himself in the head, talking about dad too loud, and he can't take type shit. But nothing. Alright, what else? I mean, I blame Revenge of the Sith for showing me this shit. I don't know why I've been obsessed with it. It bugs the fuck out of me. This guy annoys me. Maybe because I've dealt with people in my life that really have issues and struggle and shit. And to watch this person basically make a fucking mockery out of them bothers me. Like, straight to my fucking core. Like, I don't know. It just really bothers me.
Digest at once. Too much going on. In these situations, I tend to freeze or have what I call tunnel vision in these predicaments. If I don't have someone with me to guide me, I would never be able to do these activities. While concerts, I only been to one, and it was like part of the concert, Motley Crue and Alice Cooper. I love Motley Crue, I love Alice Cooper, but those things just bother. In everyday environments, I have issues relating to others in the an environment I am surrounded by. I have issues explaining myself in details for others to easily understand. For example,
You literally explained yourself in another video. I mean, you could use the excuse in this video, you know. Some people just have issues articulating, how they feel about things. That doesn't make them autistic. That doesn't make them what you perceive to be autistic. It's like you just read things and you decide that you're going to adapt those things into your daily, like, see, I'm having a hard time conveying the words, so I must be autistic too.
Is my dad asked me, and this is a true statement. Going back a couple months ago, I needed to take 2 pills. I need someone to what I feel frustrating to me and often sets me in a meltdown, to have someone pull words from my mouth. In other words, I would meant to say, Dad, I need to take 2 pills twice a day at breakfast and dinner. Another example would be I have an appointment tomorrow. My dad or mom would have to ask me and dig for that information, that extra detail information. I have an appointment tomorrow at 2 p.m. Then they would want to say with who. I would say with my doctor. Um, I get easily frustrated with this and can or send me instantly into.
Yeah, you get easily frustrated because you throw temper tantrums and act like they're some kind of outburst thanks to autism or some shit like that. The fact is that your parents did you a disservice. I am pretty sure that you have been sheltered or kind of just like never held responsible for doing anything in your life, and you grew accustomed to people just waiting on you hand and foot. You fail to mention that you used to have a job and now all of a sudden you're unable to work. The reason, if you go and look at your Facebook, it states on your old Facebook right at the bottom, which I'll show it later, that you had a job, you hurt your shoulder, and that's why you started using diapers, I think. And because you had malingering or whatever, you stuck with it. And I also think that the reason why you're trying to get into a group home is because your parents just don't want to fucking deal with you anymore. You're a grown ass man and they're elderly. They can't take care of you anymore. It's endangering their health.
A meltdown when someone doesn't know what I'm talking about. It also frustrates me when I mispronounce a word and they have to correct me. I have severe trouble understanding my tone of voice and the way I say things. I have enormous issues with understanding others and other feelings. I have trouble following directions and understanding them. I often get overwhelmed by complex directions such as take out the garbage and then do dishes and take a shower, go to bed. If I am reading a recipe, it has to be as simple for me to comprehend, or it gets overwhelming for me. I have trouble giving directions to somebody. I don't even know if this is part of autism or not. But whenever I try giving directions on how to get, because of that issue, it was like it's annoying, like for me to do stuff like that. Example: telling them how to get to a such place and directing them to my house. I already said that. I don't know why I did that, but I have a big trouble telling my left and right. I don't know if that's part of autism or not. I know dyslexia, whatever it's called, runs in the family big time, so that could be a little bit of that. Even though I don't have problems with that necessarily, I never been really. I was always told I never had that problem. In order to do this, I had to make an L with my finger. Literally, I have to go like this and know my left and right. I have a
Dude, lots of people fuck up their left and rights. There's nobody on this whole fucking platform that can say that they've never been like left and then held up their fucking right.
also issues of mocking or repeating other words, TV shows, commercials, and my own words. I always did that. I always had to, like, not really mimic, but repeat, the words that I hear. And even, like, Napoleon Dynamite would say, "Oh my God," or "Gosh, stupid idiots." Those are like my big time, phrases that I would always repeat, or something similar to that. I would rock at times when I'm sitting. My mom notices. I don't really notice if I rock too much anymore. I remember being restrained for rocking at a residential home for children. I would also do like I said, the flying motion, the arm flapping. I also have a tendency to, when I'm extremely stressed, I like to, I don't know how to explain this, but I would like spin myself in a circle, like literally walk in circles. I have to touch things like rugs at the store shelves and different fabrics and different objects. I know that's part of autism, but I don't know how degree that would be. I have to have things a certain order or a certain way. If things are misplaced and I know where I had them, I had where I had it last, it would set me off instantly.
Yeah, that pisses a lot of people off. That's just normal fucking behavior. Do you know how pissed off most guys get whenever they know something is where they put it and they can't find it? There isn't a guy on this fucking planet that doesn't get frustrated by that.
In a tantrum. Like, I know I had my pills here, Dad. Where did you put them? I always get upset when someone moves my stuff. Even though my surroundings is not the exact organized thing. It's like, I don't know how to explain, but I have like a photographic memory where I put things and that kind of stuff. I also have to have a routine. And I'm absolutely not good with dealing with changes or unexplained or unplanned events. An example of that would be my parents always has mealtime around 8, 9, 10 o'clock at night. And when we eat dinner like at 6 o'clock at night, I get frustrated very easily. It has to be the same or similar routine. I'm not as bad as that when I was younger, I don't think. But I'm still pretty bad at needing a routine. And my caseworker is trying to get me to a group home, so I'm trying to get into a routine that I can easily adjust to getting into one. I also have a trouble with loud noises. Oh my God, this is the worst thing about this. And lights such as thunder and lightning. I totally dislike fireworks, but I gotten better with them.
The fucking light has been flickering behind him, and he hasn't mentioned it once, nor has he acted like it bothered him. Just putting that out there.
Being that I know when they're going off because you can see the little flare going up in the sky, and then I basically brace myself for the loud noise. They set me off in a meltdown when I hear thunder or even forecasting thunder, because I am a big part of my biggest what do they call that? Oh my God, where you have interest in something. But my biggest interest is weather and forecasting weather. I'm a weather guru, and I'm also a volunteer storm spotter for the National Weather Service. And the one thing I hate is thunder. But yeah, I like studying the weather. I've always had a dream of that. The other thing is, when driving in a car, or even as a passenger, those LED bright lights bother me big time. And
Like the bright fucking light behind you.
especially when they, inside the house, when you have LED lights like right up there, they hum. It annoys me. And when they flicker, they bother me tremendously. I don't know if this is necessary. I've heard people with autism having very high pain tolerance. I'm the complete opposite. I have very low pain tolerance, and I hurt more than what others would be able to have.
Basically, you're a pussy.
I also have problems with tolerating high humidity and warm temperatures. Again, I don't know if those are related or not, but that's me. I'm also the first person to tell you the slightest change in temperature. Usually. My biggest things I want to work on are understanding others' emotions. I always wanted to have better empathy. What's it called? Empathy for others. I want to communicate better with others. especially when I'm upset. I have a tendency of basically having to have the person um, dig for words for me. For example, and it takes a long time for me to think the word to get it out into a voice. And that's where writing comes down to play. I can actually think while I'm typing quicker than what I can do to speak it. Um, and I want to not be able to repeat words of others or commercials or whatever so much. And I want to have less sensitive to the loud noises such as thunder. And I hate meltdowns. I hate the feeling of them. I don't like them. For example, my dad has this very high squealing voice at times that sets me off big time. And I just don't like it. It upsets me. Um,
And you throw fits like a child. That's not autism. That's just you being childish. And instead of controlling yourself like a normal human being, you're babied as a child and you still act like a kid.
and I want to be able to clarify myself and give more detail about what I'm trying to ask for. Or, for example, I have problems asking for help. Like, what is it that I need help? I have problems with. Um,
You have no issue asking for help. There's fucking phone call after phone call, you bothering people constantly on a repetitive fucking just nonstop.
for example, a couple weeks ago when I was on crutches, I had a hard time. My dad literally had to ask me like 5 times, what did I want for lunch? And I kept on saying, a sandwich. He said, what kind of sandwich? I said, a sandwich. I said, and it was back and forth between the two. I said, bologna sandwich. What do you want on your bologna? I said, and that kind of stuff. I had to have him going serious with me. I hate that. That was
You hate that he couldn't just whip you up a sandwich, just any old sandwich. He was more attentive to your needs and asked specifically what you wanted in between your piece of fucking bread.
more when I was younger than what it is now, as an adult, but it's still there, but not as bad. When I was younger, I was speech delayed until I was like 8 years old. So where basically I would only have like one word phrases, and if that, it was like one word for four different words.
This right here could be true. You could have had, speech issues as a kid. I had speech issues as a kid. I still slur my words and shit. Like, you can hear it probably in this recording. But that doesn't make you autistic.
For example, I would say book, look, gook. I'm sorry. Oh my god, I think gook. Gook would
Racist.
be meant for book, look, took, or milk. Any of those words could mean one word for me, which was gook. Just an example. I want it easier for me to initiate a friendship. Like, for me, it's easier for me to initiate when I don't know the person on Facebook. But when it's in real life, personally, like, I have a hard time, like, initiating a relationship. Like,
Yeah, you're socially awkward. Again, not autism.
I'm happy being single, but yeah, I'm open to having somebody
Like it's a choice.
approach me to be a friend of mine, or even a personal relationship, but I don't want to be forced into one either. I just want to be normal as possible. The other things I was diagnosed with, not well, before I was questioned for autism, was schizoaffective disorder. When I was able to review and be proactive with my healthcare somewhat, I actually did a lot of research on my previous diagnosis, and
Yeah, I have a feeling you do a lot of research. You research things and then you incorporate them and you try to pretend to be whatever symptom will fit what you think can get you what you want. It's the definition of malingering, sir.
um, and the schizoaffective disorder, I definitely do not have. I don't hallucinate. I don't see things, hear things, smell things, taste things that are not real. I do not have delusions, or delusions of assuming that I'm better than others. I do not have paranoid thinking, like people are out to get to me, or or things are, stuff like that. I do have problems with depression at times, but it's vocational depression, and it's only when I have an incontinent problem. I always had to have a bathroom routine, even before I had problems with the with my bladder problems. Um, where's the other part here? I don't enjoy haircuts or combing my hair or brushing my teeth, and it's just a sensory issue for me. I learned. Getting back with the eye contact thing or sensory part for eye contact. When I try to look at someone's eyes, it actually hurts my eyes. It actually really causes physical pain, which apparently is not too uncommon for autism. Autism.
How the fuck are you so well groomed then? If you have such an issue with haircuts and all that, why the fuck are you so well groomed? And who's doing it? If you can't take care of yourself, you're telling me that your dad is shaving you all the time and shit, because he's not.
Speaks Facebook page had an article on eye contact and what it's like to not be able to do it with autism. I don't know why I put this on here, but I like to take showers or baths a lot of times.
Whoa, 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 whoa. You like to take showers or baths? Wait, what? I thought you needed to be reminded to do that.
A lot of times I take two of them a day
Whoa, you take two of them?
because it relaxes me. And I'll use a little this on here, but I like to take showers or baths a lot of times. A lot of times I take two of them a day because it relaxes me. I don't know why I put this on here, but I like to take showers or baths a lot of times. A lot of times I take two of them a day because it relaxes me. And I'll use a little bit of Dawn and Epsom salt for my bath. But me and my mom
Is it the same Epsom salt you used to poison your parents?
both disagree with with that diagnosis of schizoaffective disorder. I believe I have ADHD, but some of the symptoms are also part of autism from what I understand. And my mom definitely knows I have autism too, by